Another close one. Another close one. Painfully close. Agonizingly close. Hanging with the big boys. But we lost the game by 7 runs. We lost by 7 runs. But I'm not going to overly complain about losing my night's rest to watch last night's game. Really disappointed that we lost the game. But New Zealand, being the better team, they found a way to win the game by 7 runs. You know, there are a few things that if we had tightened up or if we had done better, we probably would have came out victorious. But I guess that is why you have one team being better than the next team. One team will find a way to keep you down or to keep you on the back foot. But we're going to go through the scorecard. We're going to talk a little bit about a few things that I saw. And you can let me know your thoughts in the comment section. All right. Let's take a look at the scorecard. So West Indies won the toss and they decided to bowl first. Yes, we decided to bowl first. New Zealand scoring 269 for 7. 269 for 7. Not bad at all. I would say job well done to the bowlers. Job done to the bowlers. You know, in my keys to victory yesterday, I had indicated that, you know, it would be nice if we get them for around about 280, 285. 269 is actually good, right? So it turned out to be a good decision to bowl first. Matthew Ford struck early, right? Matthew Ford made sure that we didn't have to wait too long to start feeling a little bit of happiness, right? He picked up 2 early wickets to have New Zealand wheeling at 24 for 2. You know, he was actually on a hat-trick at one point, 24 for 2. He was on a hat-trick. And then, you know, New Zealand, they started to put together a nice little recovery. And we worked our way throughout, you know, bowled some economical overs. The fielders, I would say, backed up the bowlers. A couple of things that we could have tightened up on, but not a bad effort in the field at all. Not a bad effort. You know, there was one catch that went down that I remember seeing, you know, Seals running in, and unfortunately, after getting there, wasn't able to hold on. That is probably the only chance that I can recall. Well, not even the only one. John Campbell dropped one off the bowling of chase, and then our skipper missed a stumping. So those were the chances. We definitely want to make sure that we are grabbing the chances in the field. But generally speaking, bowlers and the fielders did pretty well. So 269 for 7 is what New Zealand got. Devon Conway, he stayed for a little bit before Justin Greaves removed him. But prior to him, Ravindra and Will Young, they were removed for 4 and 0 respectively. Matthew Ford doing the damage there. And then it was a nice partnership between Devon Conway and the Centurion Darrell Mitchell, who scored 119 of 118. 12 fours and 2 sixes. So a solid knock there. Was named man of the match. You know, he actually, you know, was the backbone of that target that they put together. Bracewell got 35 and Folks got 22 not out. But those were the main contributors with the bat for New Zealand. Bowling for the West Indies, Matthew Ford had 2 for 55 from his 10. Jaden Seals had 3 for 41 from 9. Some good bowling there. Romari Shepherd bowled 4 overs for 23. Justin Greaves 1 for 54 from 8. We saw Shamar Springer bowling 9 overs for 59, while Raston Chase got 1 for 37 from 10. Economical, right? It could have been 3 for 37, or, you know, could have been 3 wickets. We saw that stumping opportunity going down off his bowling, and we also saw you could call it an easy catch going down off his bowling, you know. So that is basically how it went there with the bowling for us. Now, in terms of how they lost the wickets, 24 for 1, 24 for 1, 24 for 2, 91 for 3, 123 for 4, 192 for 5, 220 for 6, 263 for 7, and then from there, you know, they got up to 269, and that was the end of their 50 overs. Now, when it was time for us to bat, my people, I would say that our guys gave it a good effort. You know, they gave it a good effort because New Zealand bowled well. And this is where I basically, I was in and out, in and out, in and out. Fell asleep, woke up, fell asleep, woke up. But from the amount that I saw, New Zealand, they bowled well. Unfortunately for us, our guys, they weren't able to rotate the strike as much as we would have liked, especially in the top. So it basically left a lot for the guys in the back end to do. John Campbell didn't last long. He scored 4 from 9. Alec Arthanes got 29 from 58. Right, 29 from 58 with 2 fours and 1 6, strike rate of 50. That is something that I'm sure Arthanes, as an attacking player, is going to be looking at, and he will be saying to himself that he probably could have gone a little faster. Shea Hope, the captain, got 37 from 45, 2 fours and 1 6. In his post-match interview, he was saying that the guys gave it a go, but he also needs to be blamed because he gave it away. He got out right at a crucial point for us there. So he got that 37. We also had Casey Carty getting some runs, 32 from 67, 2 fours in that knock, strike rate of 47.76. Again, being a top order batter, I am sure that Casey Carty will be looking at that and will be saying 32 from 67 is probably not the pace that he wants to go at. And hopefully in the second game he will look to find a way to rotate strike. But as I said, New Zealand, they bowled well, my people. Their bowling is class. It's a quality bowling unit, right? They bowled pretty well. And I mean, early out in the innings, you're gonna try to see if you can survive and then try to make up in the end. But that is what happens with when it comes on to players that are on a different level. They will still find a way to score off the extremely good balls, to find a way to put pressure back on the bowlers. Right, but we had a partnership, as I said, there with Alec Arthanes and Casey Carty, but it wasn't as quick as we would have liked. So we used up some balls there, which came back in the back end there to bite us. Those several runs turned out to be a bit too many to get. Sheffield Rutherford, a return to form for Sheffield Rutherford. Good to see him getting some runs, 55 from 61, going at a strike rate of 90.16, 3 fours and 3 sixes. That is exactly what you want from a player batting at number 5. Yes, that is what you want from a man batting at number 5. Holding things together if we have lost early wickets, but also pushing on and scoring at a good little pace. Right, 55 from 61. Happy to see him getting back in. For those who have been following the channel closely, I am one of them that that didn't have him in my playing 11 for this particular game. Even though we know his ODI record is better than his T20 record in the last couple of games. So as I always say, if my playing 11 means that we lose or mean that players don't score runs, I want to be wrong. I don't want my playing 11 to work. Sheffield Rutherford got into the team and he top scored. He played well, 55 from 61. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to kick on from there after getting set. But we are hoping this is a return to form and we're looking for even bigger things from him in the second T20. So shout out to Sheffield Rutherford. I am sure he felt the weight on his shoulder, knowing that he's averaging his average is okay in ODIs, but having not scored in the last couple of ODIs and T20s, you can imagine that he was itching to get some runs. And with the weight on his shoulder, he was able to do so in challenging bowling conditions. So shout out to Rutherford. Raston Chase got 16. Justin Graves and Romario Shepherd stayed to the end. They tried, but unfortunately, they weren't able to get us across the line. Justin Graves finishing off on 38 from 24, 3 fours and 1 6 in that knock. Right, strike rate of 158.33. So trying to do it at the back end there, but unfortunately, it proved to be too many. Romario Shepherd, 26 from 19, 1 6 and 1 4. Right to the end there, he was trying to go at it. But it turned out to be a little bit higher than he and Graves could manage. Now bowling for New Zealand, Kyle Jamieson, 3 for 52 from 10. Matt Henry. Luckily for us, our batsmen, they didn't allow Matt Henry to do too much damage. 1 for 46 from 10, Zach Folks. He got 1 for 30 from 8. Duffy bowled 9 overs for 48. We saw Mitchell Sackner getting 1 for 46 from 10. And Bracewell bowled 3 overs for 29. So that is how things went for the West Indies as it relates to the bat, and New Zealand with the ball. Now, this is how we lost the wickets: 10 for 1, 70 for 2. So after we lost that first wicket, we got that partnership between Arthanes and Alec Arthanes. So 10 for 1, 70 for 2, 87 for 3. From 87 for 3, another nice little partnership there, up to 138 for 4. Then we got 169 for 5. From there, we got 209 for 6, right? And we batted the 50 overs. That's the thing. So the last wicket was 209, right, for 6. But unfortunately, as I said, we weren't able to utilize as many balls as we would have liked. And as a result of that, we ended up falling short by 7 runs. So 269 is what New Zealand got, and we ended up on 262 for 7 runs. So batting out the 50 overs is good. That is something that we always ask for. In the video that I did yesterday, I said one thing is a must: bat out the 50 overs. But moving forward, we have to find a way to score off good balls, right? Not going to say that there were a lot of loose balls out there that we should have bashed or put away, because we are playing against a team that is actually better than us. It's just that we want them to match up. We are emotionally connected to West Indies, so we might be saying, how is he saying that they are better than us? They are better than us, right? They are better than us. So we are just looking for the guys to pull their weight and to try and get up to the level of where New Zealand is performing. Unfortunately, New Zealand found a way to win that one. So that is pretty much your initial report coming out of that game. We'll talk again later on today when everybody catch up on their sleep and we can talk. Big up.